Hello, welcome and namaste everybody.
जी भैया नमस्ते
जी सुन भैया नमस्ते, welcome. जी भैया we may start. Welcome.
जी So welcome everyone for this weekly follow-up meeting of the SIP, which has been conducted in October-November 2020. So that time it was lockdown period, so the colleges could not conduct the UHV session of this SIP or even any other module of this SIP online, offline. So the AICTE conducted the whole program, the 21 days induction program in the online mode. And thereafter, we started this weekly follow-up meetings. And many workshops of students happened after that. So the students who attended those students workshops of the UHV content of SIP, some of them are attending in the offline mode, rather in the Zoom meeting, and some of them are attending in this YouTube channel. This is a live stream in the YouTube channel of SIP, NCCIP, AICTE also. So we have restarted this UHV 1 sessions from a couple of meetings, a couple of Wednesdays before. The first session was welcome and introductions. So we have several faculty members also joining in the meeting. So several faculty members introduced themselves in the weekly meeting. After having this self-introduction, rather introducing the other, if it is an offline workshop, we do introduce the other. After learning about the other, we introduce the other in the offline workshop, so that the students get to know each other very well, and that becomes like an ice-breaking session. Thereafter, we discussed regarding the aspirations and concerns. Yeah, somebody's mic was on. Yeah. Varalakshmi Mama, do you want to say something? Your mic was on. Varalakshmi Mama ji, your mic was on. Okay, so maybe it is accidental. That's okay. So then we started discussion about this aspirations and concerns of the students. This is session number 2 in the UHV 1 program, which is offered in the SIP. So there we have progressed to this assignment, which has been given at the end of the session number 1, the welcome and introduction part, where the students were asked to write down their aspirations, achievements, and concerns in a UHV notebook. And we started the evaluation of that in this aspirations and concerns part, exploring aspirations and concerns part. We asked the question in the beginning, we are all making this tremendous effort. A lot of effort has been taken by the students to reach the higher education level. So they have been coming from a different background, different sanskars, different languages, different places. After taking a lot of effort in the form of their board examinations, their entrance examinations, other competitive examinations, they would have reached a particular program, maybe of their choice or may not be of their choice. So we can ask this question to them: the effort which you are taking, which you are making, is it to fulfill your aspirations or to resolve your concerns, confusion, and questions, or for something else? So we can get very natural kind of explorative answers or responses from the students, and on the basis of that we can go forward. Yeah, Vaishali Panchal Didi, your hand is raised and mic is forwarded to you. You have a sharing or question? Vaishali Panchal Didi. Do you have a sharing or a question? Okay, so that is also maybe accidental, that's fine. So this question was asked, and then on the basis of the responses, we can ask them to make a list of the efforts that they were making. So when we discussed regarding this in the previous Wednesday, most of the responses were like the effort which we are making is either to fulfill the aspirations or to resolve the concerns, confusions, and questions. Most of the responses are like that. So then the list of effort that we are making, that this can be done in the UHV notebook. And then you can ask the question why you are making this effort. Is it to fulfill the aspirations or to resolve your concern or for something else, as these questions. This also can be written down. So an example also has been given, like studying hard is an effort which is done by many students, or rather all the students, I would say. That is done by, so in addition to the studying hard, they will be doing some extra activities also, maybe to prepare for the competitive examinations or some internship or some practical skill-based training, so on and so forth. But studying is done by almost all of them. That's why we can take this example. What is the purpose of studying? Do well in the class and to get a good job. And then, so we can ask the question why to the student every time. So ultimately, he reaches his basic human goal. So like that, we can go on and we explore further. And the exploration has reached here in the next slide. So that is, what is the effort you are making and why are you making that effort? So when this question was asked in the previous Wednesday's meeting also, there were certain responses. And a typical kind of response is being listed here, that studying, doing internship, practicing for something, attending coaching, doing articleship, etc., doing MBA, researching, painting. These kind of efforts are being done by the students, and these are being discussed by, or rather these are being responded by some of the students in some of the students' workshops. So what is the expected outcome of this? Expect to become something. What is the purpose of, when the question was asked, like why are you making this effort? Studying to become an engineer, to become a doctor, practicing to become farmer, attending coaching to become an IAS officer, and so on and so forth. Doing articleship to become a lawyer, doing MBA to become a businessman, research for scientists, painting to become an artist. Like that, there are plenty of responses from the students. Expect to become something. And when you expect to become this engineer, doctor, etc., or the so-called professions, so we have to define profession also in detail later, but let us, for the time being, call them as kind of profession for the time being. Okay, so if you want to become an engineer, what is the result of that? Expect to get something or expect to do something. The exploration may go like this: to get money, to earn name and fame, to do research, to take care of my parents, make my family proud, nation proud, gain expertise in the area of my choice, earn my living well, live with self-respect, so on and so forth. There are plenty of kind of responses which you can expect from a group of students. The students are more explorative. So if you just help them to, if you become like a trigger to let them explore, there will be a lot of responses. But initially, they may be reluctant to make any exploration, make any. Shashikan Bhaiya is telling voice is echoing. Is it true with everyone? I have only one device with me, just one device.
Is it?
Check.
It's fine, Bhaiya. We are not listening.
Okay, fine. Yeah, so these are some of the responses from the students which we have copied over here for just for illustration purpose. And you can add to this. You can make this table bigger when we actually do this this UHV1 to the students. So the the text over here can be different in that case. So present effort, expect to become something, expect to get something or do something. Now still you can ask the question why. Why do you want to get money? Why do you want to earn name and fame? Why do you want to do research? Why do you want to take care of your parents? What is the basic aspiration? So what do you get? What do you want to be out of this? What is the purpose of this money? What is the purpose of this name and fame? What is the purpose of this doing research, innovation? What is the purpose of this getting expertise in certain area? What is the purpose of even living well? You can ask this question. So then the students may explore by themselves. If there are some students who are over here, they can raise their hand and they can respond directly. That is very nice. So we have come up to here. So this table is purposefully put as blank, so you can add the explorations by the students, responses by the students over here. That's why this is kept blank. Now we have asked the question why again when the students want to get something or do something. So what is the purpose of getting money, earn name and fame, etc.? Is it to become happy and prosperous? This can be asked finally. Rather, some other students may explore by themselves and come to this particular response that they want to be happy. So getting money is making them happy. That may be a response. Earning name in the society, fame in the society, doing research. If they innovate something, that is leading towards happiness. And when they procure something, when they they procure or produce something from their from what they want to become, like becoming a farmer, for example, that is leading towards this prosperity. So happiness and prosperity, these are the explorations which we can bring their attention to, or rather they will be bringing their attention to when this question why is asked. So ultimately, rather basically, I would say not ultimately, basically every human being wants to be happy and to be prosperous. And this is something what we want to get from the external sources, like what we can see over here, getting money, earning name and fame, doing research, taking care of parents. So from all these external sources, we want to be happy and prosperous. Then we can slowly introduce what is happiness and prosperity to the students, and we can go on just like that. But before going to that, what is more important is how to help them to resolve their concerns, how to help them to find solutions to their questions. Now we can ask this question: which is your basic aspiration among these? If we can call them as 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Present effort is 1, doing something is 2nd, rather becoming something is 2nd, getting something or doing something is 3rd, and expect to be happy and prosperous is 4th. Expect to be something is 4th. In that case, which one is your basic aspiration? We discussed about this also in the previous meeting, and we have discovered that the basic aspiration is fourth one, that is to be happy and prosperous. So we ask this question why every time, and finally we reach this particular destination, that whatever we want, whatever we do, whatever activities we are doing, finally we want to be happy. Yeah, Varalakshmi Ammaji is typing for the chat box. Very nice, Didi. Thank you. Expect to be happy and prosperous. Ultimately, that is basically that is what we want to become. Students also can see that through their exploration, can see that this is what they want to be. And the other 3, thus 1, 2, 3 are the steps to achieve the basic aspiration. This is what we have been exploring in the last Wednesday's meeting. Then the questions were asked: can you see that your basic aspiration is to be happy and prosperous? Can you see that becoming something, doing something, getting something, etc., are just the steps to achieve your basic aspiration? We can also have a pause here and discuss this in a bit more length. So some examples can be taken from their own life. For example, to become a programmer. Many students are from computer science, information technology, electronics background. So to become a programmer and ultimately to become derive happiness out of this. So what are the steps to become a programmer? And when you become a programmer, you get you become maybe a software engineer. You can get money, you can get name and fame when you are a good programmer out of that. And finally, you want to be happy. So if you can see that the basic aspiration is happiness and prosperity, why can't you arrange your steps accordingly? So this can be a continuity of this particular discussion. You can also take the example of, say, if the students are from civil engineering, you can take the example of building, constructing a building. If that is your that is what you want to do, then the different steps for that you can discuss about that, and what you get out of finally when you accomplish a particular project, a task. Is it happiness and prosperity, or is it something else? Or can you see it in some other way? Yeah, so maybe we can bring in this particular examples and try to help them explore. And then you can ask this question also: would you like to make sure that the steps you choose will lead you to happiness and prosperity? What is the sequence of these steps in that case? Shall we start from one, start from some effort, and then go on to become something, go on to get something or do something, and finally reach this expect to be happy and prosperous? So we don't see that the fourth step is there. That is the basic aspiration in all the activities, in all what we do, is to become happy and prosperous, without seeing that if you start taking an effort, would you reach that particular destination? So you can just go on helping them exploring like this. So where do we start from? Or how do we arrange these steps? This can be a question. Yeah, how do you go about? This is the last slide which we discussed in the previous meeting. How do you plan your life? Do you plan your life from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4? That is, you start from some effort. You want to become something, so you become something. You want to get something, okay, you want to get money, your name and fame, whatever. And then you want to be happy and prosperous. Is that the way you are going? What do you think? This is something which we have discussed as an assignment also in the previous session. Right? How do you plan your life? Again, this is whatever is applicable to students is applicable to everyone. In fact, how do you plan our life? What was I doing, or what were you doing during the time when you were a student? Could you see that from whatever activity you are supposed to do, expected to do, you want to be happy and prosperous? Or you started your effort because of some trigger, maybe from the family, maybe from your friends, or maybe from something else, from your teachers? How did you start your higher education? Particularly choosing a subject for your higher education program. How do you choose that? Could you be able to see that there is happiness and prosperity in those activities, or could you just start something somewhere and then go on? Finally, somebody may reach happiness, somebody may not reach happiness. I have given this example of one of my students, who is currently a student, who wanted to become a musician. That was his passion from his school time onwards. And he was actually part of some programs also, concerts. He go for certain concerts. He used to do this instrumental music. But and also another thing which I have noticed is that his parents are also musicians. So in his first year program of BTech, he was attending very less. So I had to call his parents and discuss with them. So during the discussion, it was revealed that they wanted to make their ward an engineer. I asked, what is the purpose? He has to have a degree. That is a response. Okay, a degree means you can get a degree in arts also. You can even have a degree in music also. This is a possibility, because he wanted to become a musician. They said no. We want him to become a BTech engineer. I said okay, that's fine. So focus upon that in that case. And then I asked them, what are you doing, the parents? The father said, I'm a tablaist, and the mother said, I'm a musician, I'm a singer. So I said, yeah, there is no surprise that your son also is having a taste of music because he has been seeing this in the family. So it is quite natural. So then why do he want to become? So then I did not ask the question again because anyway, the response has been given that they wanted to become their child an engineer, but still he can continue his passion. Okay, that's fine. So first year is over. In the second year also, the same thing repeated. His attendance was very low, marks was very poor. And because of this poor marks, poor grade, he had to repeat 1 year. That is, if the minimum number of credits were not met with, he cannot sit in the third semester. So all these complications came into low attendance, low credits, all these things. So the result, as on date, is he has spent 6 years, nearly 6 years in the campus, and he has reached only his fourth semester. 3 times he had taken readmission because of this lack of attendance or lack of credits. And this is the last time he has been given this readmission as advised by the university. If such an occurrence, such a low attendance come again, is repeated again, he has to forfeit the course or discontinue the course. Yeah, so where is the taste? Where is that flavor of becoming an engineer? I'm not sure about this. Anyway, he's still in the study, and but in between, so during these 6 years, he has been there in all these musical programs of the college or programs which are associated with, or some kind of music is associated with the programs, and he was going outside also for this musical programs. He is making money, and he is supporting his family also in that way. So this is happening, but still he is studying for his during his 6th year of in the college in his 4th semester. So yeah, I mean, this example I used to quote wherever I go to discuss with these human values. Yeah, so he wanted to become happy for sure, and that happiness he is deriving from his musical programs. But he is studying for BTech. So this is still a contradiction. I could see that, but rather he has to explore himself, and his parents also, they have to explore themselves and find out that this is what is happening with them. Nice. So we have a comment from Varalakshmi Didi in the chat box. Our basic aspiration, our continuous happiness, whether we become something or not. If we have right understanding and right feeling within us, but it doesn't mean we should stop our efforts. We should work for becoming something, but it should change. Should change hormone within us. What do you mean by that? Do you mean to say harmony? Okay. So what I understand from your sharing is that you can use the mic also, Didi. The mic is provided to you. You can share. That would be very nice. Mic is provided to many of the participants. And mic, if you wish to speak to any time, you can raise your hand and mic can be provided to you. So I'm providing mic to many more of you. Yeah, we have a hand raised. Vaishali Panchal Didi, namaste. You raise your hand again, so the mic is there with you. You can respond. I hope my voice is audible to everyone. You can respond in the chat box. That's very nice. So I fear if, yeah. Okay, Didi. So Valashma is telling about hormone itself. Nice. So change of hormone means what? It's for happiness. You said regarding happiness hormone. Okay, let me ask you one question. Which one comes first, happiness or the hormone? Is happiness because of the hormones, or is the hormones are produced because of the happiness? Everyone can respond to this question. whether this hormones comes first or the feeling of happiness comes first. You can write hormone or happiness in the chat box. What do you think? So whatever we do, this basic aspiration is to be happy. And is it to, yeah, we can continue to take effort also. That is very good. So that we can produce, so that we can be happy. Nice. But the effort which we take is of our taste. Nice. Sarida Didi is typing in the chat box, happiness. Others also can type their response in the chat box. Yeah. Happiness brings harmony. Happiness brings harmony, Prashantaya. Or is happiness is due to be in a state of harmony? When you are in a state of harmony, there is happiness. Okay. So which one comes first, happiness or the hormone? Hormones which are associated to this happiness. Okay. Yeah. Vaishali is typing happiness. So we can see that this question was asked during one of the open workshops which I have conducted. That was in Chennai. So there this question came regarding the psychiatric medicine. So the psychiatric medicines involve giving some medicine to people who are in depression or who are affected by the psychiatric symptoms, so that the depression or the kind of stress or the symptoms can be reduced through this medicine. And what the medicines do is to help to produce these kind of hormones, happiness hormones. So the question was, happiness is because of these hormones, right? I asked them, these hormones, what do you think? Are they material or are they part of your feelings? Then the exploration was going on. Finally, the response is hormones are materials. And if they are materials, they are part of the body. Is it not? These hormones you can extract out. They are part of material, and material is part of the body only. Like brain, we say brain is part of the body. Heart is part of the body. Every other organ is part of the body. These hormones part of the body. Blood is part of the body. The changes are happening because of the feelings. Feelings are not, in fact, materials. Feelings are part of the consciousness. Feelings are there in the self. But when there are feelings in the self, there are changes happening in the body. Like we can see when we are angry, we say this sudden rush of blood is happening. Right. So the body adjusts by itself because of those feelings in the self. Hormones are produced, happiness hormones are produced because of this feeling of happiness. So happiness comes first and then the hormones. But in the psychiatric medicine, the treatment is for the body. Hormones are produced, and because of the hormones, this depression will be ceased for some time, or rather suppressed for some time. Once the effect of this medicine is over, the symptoms come back fiercely. The treatment is not for the self, but for the body. Okay, so because this comment was there in the chat box, I just try to bring your attention to this. It is the feelings that are important, and the feelings are there in the self. But these hormones, they are there in the body. As a result of the feelings, these hormones are being produced. So how do you go about? Is it from one taking effort to finally, without seeing this, expect to be happy and prosperous? 1, 2, 3, 4 in that direction? Or are you able to see that the basic aspiration is happy and prosperous, and for that I can evaluate myself, what is my taste, and accordingly, depending upon my taste and depending upon my skills or the skills which I can develop in myself. So every skill cannot be produced in everybody. Somebody who is good at music, as we discussed just now, they cannot develop a skill of mathematics. I mean, this is not a rule like that, but this can be maybe a reality. Likewise, all the skills are not there in every human being, but we can, depending upon our taste, we can find out, explore ourselves, which kind of skill I can produce or I can develop in myself. So accordingly, to want to be to be happy and prosperous, I can see which kind of skills I can develop in myself. For that, I see I can get something, I can do something. To get something and do something, before that I have to become something. So I can see that I want to become something to get. And to become something, I have to take some effort. So this effort, if you take as a result of, or as a foresight of this basic aspiration as happiness and prosperity, working back, that is, you see 4 first, and then you see that 3 is there, getting something. So what is required for becoming happy and prosperous? Then what do you want to become for that? And if you want to become that, which effort you have to take? If you can take the effort, or if you can plan your life accordingly, then are you able to see that life would be much better? That is, you can just reverse this. The arrow marks are now reversed over there. Expect to be happy and prosperous, want to get something, do something, I want to become something, and expect to, and I want to take some effort for that. That is, to develop a clarity of your basic aspiration, happiness and prosperity, and then work out the steps accordingly. This is a proposal which I put before you. So are you able to see that a better way of planning, I won't say the right way, but a better way of planning is 4, 3, 2, 1. You can respond in the chat box. Or is it 1, 2, 3, 4 itself? I cannot see any response in the chat box so far. So how do we go about in planning our life? You can use the mic also. So I didn't get any response from anybody so far. So it is good if you can use your mic. Mic is there with many of you. I'm passing on the mic to many of you. Yeah. Nice. Are we able to see that planning our life, it is a better way to go from 4 to 1? And with some examples, can we just suggest as a proposal to the students that having a clarity regarding the basic aspiration is good before they actually take some effort? Okay, nice. So I hope this is yeah.
Namaste, Bhaiya.
Namaste, Bhaiya.
So without this clarity on basic human aspiration that I want to be happy and prosperous, whatever we put effort, it will be random. Whether we need this happiness in continuity or not, we will not be sure. So those random efforts may reach or may not reach to the point of basic human aspiration. But if I have this clarity that I want to be happy and prosperous, then whatever I do, I see I am happy. So I am prosperous. So with that, there is possibility to be in continuous happiness and prosperity.
Good.
So in the student community, so recently one student passed away
Mm.
because he has failed in all the subjects in first semester.
Mm.
So that was the message we got, but we are not sure what is the exact reason. But so they are ending their lives for small things without knowing the basic human aspiration that whatever we do, we are living for happiness and prosperity.
Mm.
If we can make them understand that, let them explore and understand that our aspiration is to be happy and prosperous, and these temporary excitements or temporary sadness, they won't see it, they won't give more importance, what I think. So this having the clarity on four is important. Then we work 4 3 2 1, then it will be uh, possible to see in all the steps that I am happy and prosperous. So that's what I want to put.
Yes, yes, yeah. This is a very important point that you brought in over here. So the students are not clear about their destination, their basic aspiration. Then this kind of random, disorganized way of doing things will be there. And they have a lot of expectations from what they are doing, what the effort they are taking. If the expectations are not meeting, and if there is a lot of pressure also from the part of the parents or from the peer group, such kind of incidents may happen. It is happening also because they're always confused regarding their effort. Finally, what they want to become, they do not know. If there is a setback at some point, the exploration will go towards this depression. That this may be helped by somebody who is evaluating them. The evaluation may not be right, may not be seeing their abilities. Rather, the evaluation may be under evaluation. So this may lead them towards depression, and that may lead towards committing suicide and kind of things. So this is helping the students when we, yeah, very true.
Students are not able to see that there is alternative for everything.
Yes, very true. That's what we are coming to. Very nice. So yeah, this exploration is actually helping us to go forward in the side also. That is, there is an alternative, and failing in an examination is not the end of it. It is what it depicts. It is at the time of the examination what the students were thinking. What was their, what was the expression of the student? What was the feelings in the student? And all these things are affecting the examination results, right? But it is not the actual competence, actual skill part of the competence of the student. You cannot take away the skill for sure. You cannot take away the competence. The skills and competence, there is a linear development. I cannot say regarding skills. Skills you may have to acquire again sometimes, but the competence which is developed, it is progressing only. You cannot reduce that. Nobody can take away the competence with an examination. So that the result of the examination is for the 2 hours or 3 hours of the examination, what you were thinking, what you were feeling at that time in the self, the result of that. And also it affects the examiner also. Yeah, so if you can share this with the students, that the failures, there is nothing called failure, but whatever we say as, whatever we explore as failure is actually experiences. And you can work upon that. Shan Swamiji, namaste. Hand is raised.
Bhaiya, namaskar. So again, here as we are speaking about this experience that about the student doing the suicides and all that. But here, one thing I would like to share that there should be aspiration, no doubt, and competent. The students are very much competent. The only thing is needed for the teacher is to explore them. And I think the communication is one of the important aspect that we are lacking. That what I am finding, the communication of the teachers with the students. And if this communication, if it increases, and definitely that will make sure about the uh, what you can say, loopholes of the students where he is lacking in part, maybe mathematical part or theory part, like that. And it will help him in the coming days to explore, as well as make sure that he can do it. And this may convert the things of his thinking to a right thinking, and then definitely he think of happiness and aspiration, take this aspiration as aspiration. And all these such unwanted things will not happen, because I think I am finding a lot of things of these das, that is depression, anxiety, as well as stress. And due to this, they are always under pressure. So somewhere the teacher has to take this initiative and talk to as a mentor, as we are given with the students, and that will make the difference. That is what from my side.
Nice, nice. I'd like to make one small correction in that. The students you said are having a lot of competence, but I would like to say that students are having a lot of potential. The possibility, the potential is there with the students.
Yes. Yes, you are correct, Bhaiya. They are having a lot of potential. Just we have to push them in the right direction.
Yeah, we can help them to use their potential to improve their competence. That is what we can help them. And exploration as well as improving the competence is what they have to do by themselves. We can help them. That is very true. Very nice. So this is the role of a teacher, to guide the students, to see that, as Yogesh Bhaiya was telling, there is an alternate path. Always there is another path, for sure. Plenty of paths are there, but the right one you can choose through your self-exploration.
I can add one more thing, Bhaiya, here. Sorry to disturb.
Yes.
I can add one more thing. I remember very well, Bhaiya. Actually, earlier when we were 3 to 4 children of our parents, and now it has reduced to 1 or 2, hardly 1 nowadays. So that also makes a difference, what you can say, because as there is no, again, more communication in the family also, due to different reasons. And that's what that all their potential is not properly utilized. And for the same, I think again the things come, or the role or the responsibility of the teacher is become big, because the maximum time, that is maybe 10 to 5 or say 8 to 4, they are in the college or schools. That makes a difference.
Yes, very true. Very true. So communication is one thing which you said very rightly. Sharing, when there are more number of siblings, sharing is there. When there are only one child or two children in a family, this pampering may be more, sharing may be becoming less. So this is also there. Very true. Yeah. Jagdish Bhaiya, namaste once again.
Yes. Yeah, to add to that, so the faculty, as a faculty, we also has to be competent enough to show them the right proposals or put the right proposal in front of them. What I observed in myself is most of the time when they're not performing well, I'm under evaluating them. So, which is a disrespect. It may also lead to depression. So, that is one of the thing that is happening. The faculty, as a faculty, we try to compare with the students who are studying, and so without understanding what is his level of competence, so we are trying to compare with the potential of other. So this is also another reason why the students are getting depressed. So faculty need to be competent enough to handle the situation.
Yeah.
That's why AICTE is proposing this 1:20 ratio. All the faculty has to do these FDPs. So So when all the faculty do FDPs and they talk to the students in putting the proposals and saying what is the basic human aspiration, and there is an always alternative path if you get fail in one thing, then maybe there is a change in the students also. That's what I want to share.
Very nice, Priya. Very nice. So what you are telling is absolutely right. It is our responsibility to improve our competence before we help the students. So this comparison kind of things, all we can avoid, because everyone is unique in the sense of the competence, but everyone is similar by the sense of what we discussed in the workshop, like for the purpose, program, and potential. This potential is there with every human being, but how we utilize the potential is our choice. And how to develop our competence, how far we have aligned our imagination with our natural acceptance, that is our choice. That is what we can do by ourselves. So what we can do is we can help the students to do this, to improve their competence. And for that, as we discussed in this particular session, the planning of the life, if you can see that the basic aspiration is happiness and prosperity, and if there is a clarity in the student regarding this basic aspiration, and regarding what, if there is a right evaluation of the student on himself, and if we also can help them to have this right evaluation of what effort he or she can make to reach this basic aspiration, so that we can reach the basic aspiration working backwards from there. And as you rightly pointed out, if the basic aspiration is not very clear to the students, then it is likely that the direction of your effort may keep changing. In fact, we have discussed about this through this discussions from Devish Bhaiya, Prashant Bhaiya, and others in the chat box. We have discussed regarding this particular thing. If the life is without clarity of basic aspiration, then this possibility is there. The direction of your effort may keep changing. So I may think of becoming a musician at one point. Another point, I may, because of peer pressure or some other reason, I may think that I can become a football player. At another occasion, I may think that I can become a good chef or something or the other. Maybe sometimes I may become that becoming a civil engineer is not good. I want to become a mechanical engineer because that is doing something good for. So this kind of conflicting, changing thoughts without actually seeing the ability may happen. So assumptions change according to this external reasons. You may not know if you have arrived or not. You have arrived the basic aspiration or not. Very likely that there will be a mix of satisfaction and dissatisfaction. Sometimes you may get maybe a short-lived satisfaction that is for a short duration of time, and sometimes you may be dissatisfied with something. So the trigger may be external, so we have to be very careful about this. So the basic aspiration, as you can see, the figure which is given below, you start from somewhere, you go on just from you start from step number 1, you go to step number 3, you go to step number 4, you go to step number 2, and so on and so forth. So this random thoughts may happen in the students. So in between, they may go into kind of intoxications also in between to get this stress relieved from them. So all those things can happen. But so let us have a clarity regarding this basic aspiration. So if the basic aspiration is not very clear, I will aim for the sky, I will make money and have fun. All these can be kind of the aspiration. So, but this is not making the student to reach the basic aspiration of happiness and prosperity. Yeah. So these steps you can see over here. So you are just moving around at random between these 3 steps. But this is what is desirable. Clarity of basic aspiration. If I can see, and if the student can also see that the basic aspiration is happiness and prosperity, achieving this basic aspiration is my goal, then I can work for that I know my current status, where I am standing right now, through my self-evaluation, right evaluation in the self. I can see where I am standing. The student can see where he or she is standing. And then I can plan my steps that connect and lead to the fulfillment of basic aspiration. So my direction to achieve this basic aspiration is definite. I always focus upon my basic aspiration and work towards that. So I try to be happy always. Try to be, I would say. I may not be happy always, but I try to be, because I can see that that's my desirable state. So I can try to be always happy and prosperous. So this basic aspiration is definite. It does not keep changing. Yeah, and I can also explore and see that it is same for every human being. Every human being, whatever he does, the basic aim is to become happy finally. Right. So this is something which we can bring as the key slide in this particular discussion. That is session number 2, life with clarity of basic aspiration. We move from our current state to our desirable state, basic aspiration. So a definite direction is what is expected. Yeah, all these things, the steps which we were mentioning in the previous slides, thinking, doing something, expect to become something, expect to get something or do something, are in this particular definite path. As Jagdish Babu Paya was discussing just now, what will I do when my favorable path is closed? We can distinguish between basic aspiration and the steps or paths to fulfill. So find out what would be appropriate if your favorite path is closed. This also is a concern to many students. I have chosen for, or I have aspired for a particular program of study, but I am now studying in a different program. So what is my choice? Do I have to be unhappy, get depressed, become inactive all the time? Or do I need to find an alternate path? What would we do in our case? Do we get depressed? Do we, when there are, we can just think of a small situation where you want to accomplish a particular project. But yeah, you are not reaching the destination. And the project you see at particular instant of time, the money is not enough. So what do? You go for some alternate path to get enough fund for the project, or you just drop the project all over there. Or if you see that it is if it is a research-based project, if it is not working properly, do you find some alternate method to accomplish that particular task, whatever it is? Alternative paths. Nice. Vaishali ji, Viti ji are typing in the chat box. Alternative paths. So this discussion can be brought into the students also. We can bring their attention to this, that it is not that we have to be depressed. We may be depressed because my favorite path is closed. Like I wanted to study in the US, but I was forced to take admission in this country by my parents. So if the students are thinking that their dreams are shattered and there is no other choice. So this is a situation where we can help the students to bring their attention to the basic aspiration. So whatever you want to do, maybe in the US or anywhere, it is for your basic aspiration. Let them explore that so that they can find out this. I did not get the branch of my choice. My motivational study is gone. I did not get a roommate I wanted. I am unhappy. All these things may come. But finally, if you can see that every human being is similar to me, and they differ only in the level of competence, as we discussed further. and I can see that it is possible to cope up with any human being. And I can, if there is some lack of competence in the other human being, I can help them. So this is going to be discussed in depth when we discuss about the feelings part. Sophia and Jena G is typing in the chat box. If my basic aspiration is clear, but due to circumstantial pressure, it may change at a point of time. Many times we have seen the students are quite dissatisfied with these situations, but due course of time, somehow they are adjusting and they're also successful. How to deal with this kind of situation? Yes. For example, placement. They did not get to their dream company. They did not get the salary which they expected. They did not even succeed in the interview in which they wish to succeed. All these things may come in part of placement, and they may go for a particular technical event. They wanted to perform well, but they could not. Yeah. So these are the situations in which the mentor can take a lead role, and sometimes the examination failure also can be added to this, as Jagdish Bhai was telling. So sometimes some students come out of this by themselves because they have a will to come out of this, and they have their own explorations to come out of this. But in many situations, the mentor has to play a major role over here. You can let them help explore so that they can come out of this. There is always an alternate path, and we have to just find out that. And as we discussed just now, there is no failure, but there are only experiences. Nice. Yeah, so this alternate paths is what we have discussed just now, and we can stop this session with this home assignment. Yeah, every session we have certain conclusions or takeaways. We can let the students to write down your conclusions or takeaways from this session. We have discussed about the basic aspiration, the steps to achieve the basic aspiration, and how to plan our life. Then from our current status or our current evaluation to our right evaluation of the self, we can see where we stand right now. From there, what is the desirable state and how to go about. What are the steps to go about? This we can discuss. This we have discussed in this particular session. And if one path is closed, we can always choose an alternate path. Is your basic aspiration really happiness and prosperity? This question can be asked. Or something else. This can be asked for self-exploration. Think about some of those situations where your favorite path to what you assume to be your goal was closed. How did you feel, think, do in these situations? Write down one of them in detail. Yeah, so this can be an assignment for us also in this particular session till we meet the meeting in the next Wednesday. Yeah, so before we close, do we have any questions, any sharing? A quick sharing or quick question will be appreciated before we close the session. Yeah, I hope there are no more sharings. So it is almost time to close the session also. Thank you all dear correspondents for this participation in this session. We will meet next Wednesday with the content of session number 3 of UHV 1. Before that, we will revisit this assignment and then we will go to the session number 3. Thank you. Thank you all. Over to you, Parishit Bhaiya.
Thank you, Bhaiya. Namaste.
Okay. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you so much.